A-dec's Smart Start program offers first-time practice owners their deepest discounts on equipment and furniture for 2 years, plus other savings and complimentary services. Ask your A-dec rep for details and start smart with A-dec. Join Doctors Savanah Craig and Ronnetta Sartor as we navigate life beyond graduation. Real conversations about forging our own paths in our early years in our careers. There's a reason it's called practicing dentistry.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to our episode with Dr. Haley Schultz.
I mean, look at us all now. We had to turn our phones off to record, so we're starting.
Can you speak about how you became a KOL for A-dec?
Yeah, they just reached out to me, and they, from my podcast, were wanting to get into the podcast space. So we've been partners, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years now at this point. So it's been lovely, and they are so fun to work with for the podcast. They're one of those people like I can consistently count on, which is fun when you have a brand that you love. And I mean, in the ad reads and stuff, everything I'm saying is accurate. Like I use this in dental school. It's in my practice. So it's fun when it's something that you genuinely love that you can talk about. Because I have random startups or things reach out to me. Not that they couldn't end up being something big, but I'm not going to promote a product or a company if I don't personally like actually use it or recommend it to friends and family. So you have to filter through a lot of emails when this is kind of the industry that you're working in.
So your practice is A-dec?
We have a mix of things.
Okay.
Honestly, they've renovated kind of here and there with different things. So some ops are different than other ones, but we used it in dental school in all the clinics.
Very good. And that's honest, right? Like nobody is just like completely overhauling their office to be all one thing, because that's crazy. So
yeah, unless you're a startup, then you get to pick, which is cool. That would be fun. I would love, like you see people, because I'm building a house, so I'm like in the design sphere. So I love when people are sharing their startup phase. So it's basically building a practice instead of a house, but then they get to pick like everything, the walls, the floors, the chair fabric color. Like A-dec just posted their new like color of the year swatch or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. It would be fun to just make like a beautiful office. Our office is nice, but I wouldn't call it like aesthetic.
It's serving a function though.
Exactly.
Maybe you could just design your op.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about the house experience. And, you know, Ronnetta and I have been with our partners for a long time. So tell us your experience with your now husband. And I think being a partner to a dentist is kind of a weird life. And just in talking with you, you feel very similar to Ronnetta and I with the intentionality and the lives we're trying to build. And my partner is a little more quiet, and he's like, why are we like having a meeting and goal setting for 2026? I'm like, because we have to build this life we want. And how does your husband fit into these things?
You know, I think most couples are that balance beam, right? So also my husband is more Mr. Chill, go with the flow. It'll happen when it happens. It's all good, that kind of vibe. And then I'm the tracking goals, all of that type of person. But you need that in a relationship, because over our years of being together, he's helped me be more calm, helped me not take things too seriously, helped me with being able to have things like run off my shoulders instead of dwelling on them. So I think you need people like that in your life. But yes, it's very unique being married to a dentist or partner of a dentist. And I think it's also an interesting dynamic being a female dentist and then your husband or partner working in a different type of industry. Because the way I view dentistry is that the potential of, you know, how much our practice can grow, whether that is financially or patients help, all the regards, locations, whatever it may be, is limitless. I really do, because that's what our owner has instilled in us. So it's insane to have so much growth potential at such a young age, and then have someone in more of a classic, stable corporate environment, right? That's what my husband does. So it's been a very interesting dynamic when it comes to like finances and all those things that we talk about, and just life planning of seeing like, this is what's possible for me and this is what's currently happening for me. And it's almost like they can't even believe that exists, because you're kind of pulling the curtain back on an industry that they've never been aware of up until this point. So it's definitely unique, and that's kind of its own could be its whole own series of episodes, like life with a non-dental partner. Yes. How is it and what's it all about?
Totally.
It makes coming home a little bit more interesting, though, because you get to hear the different perspectives and not, oh man, this patient, this happened, that happened.
Oh yeah, I would never want him to be a dentist or like work. Even if I went off and did my own office, some people like bring their partner in to work at the office because it makes more like financial sense, time sense, whatever for their family life. I like him having his own thing. I think it's much more fun, much more interesting, and it creates, in my opinion, a little bit better of a dynamic.
Ronnetta is going through that, bringing her partner into the practice in some aspects and helping with some of the backflow on things. So that's been fun for me to watch.
To be fair, it's kind of hybrid.
Yes.
They work from home, and we do not see each other, and so that works. And then we have rules. When we get home, we don't talk about it, and we work Monday through Thursday. So on Friday, it's only on an as-need basis, and we've got to cut it off.
That's the way to do it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Haley, if you had advice for yourself a year and a half ago, your just graduated self, what are some of those things? Because I think you had such a vision, even from such a young age. And so, but there's still going to be things that shock you, right? So what would be that advice for yourself? And then what advice would you give, maybe not yourself, to someone who doesn't have quite that obvious vision, intentionality like the three of us do?
So to myself, I think I would want to tell her everything is going to work out and you are in the right place. Trusting your gut instinct. When you think you found something really great, lean into it, go all in, give it everything you have, because you'll be blown away of what that will return into your life. But for the people that maybe they have a job after graduation, but they don't know if it's the right fit, they're not that excited about it, but they had to be in the specific area or something like that. They're just not as clear on like their forever path. I would say you're in the majority. That's more common. Like I said, it's a very fortunate small percent chance that I happen to find something I love right out of school. But I would say don't settle. Don't get complacent in a situation, in a life that you're not happy with. Figure out what you want and make a plan to get there. So that could involve going and doing specialty courses so that you're more appealing to the type of practice you want to work at. That could involve moving maybe. So figuring out what you want and how much you're willing to give to get there. And it will always be worth it to put in time, money, effort toward a goal. So don't be complacent where you're at. Don't accept being dissatisfied with your life, because as all three of us have been saying this whole episode, you are in control of that. So go out and get what you want, and it's absolutely possible.
Wow. This has been so fun. I feel like we could chat forever. And I feel like we have to have you back in like a couple of years and tell us everything that is going amazing for you and what you've manifested and created for yourself. But tell our listeners where they can find you, where they can find your podcast, and all the things.
Yeah, so the podcast is on all the platforms, on all the social media, Dental Download Podcast. And then I have my own page where I share cases and some of that, like I said, lifestyle motivation. And that's Dr. Haley DDS. So you can look that up, because eventually I'm probably changing to my married name, but I haven't done it yet. So we didn't brand as much with the last name, just in case.
There you go. And we'll have that on our show notes and everything for our viewers to tune in and follow your journey.
Yes. Awesome. Well, catch us back here next time, you guys, for another episode of Beyond Graduation. Have a good week.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Beyond Graduation. If you enjoyed this week's episode, be sure to share it with a friend. Connect with us on social media at Savanah Craig DDS and at Dr._Sartor. And remember, you are not alone on this journey.
A-dec certified pre-owned equipment is a sustainable, affordable choice that makes genuine A-dec equipment available to every doctor. Each package is sold on a first-come, first-served basis. So, if you see one you like, contact your dealer. For more information, go to www.adec.com/find a dealer. Thank you for listening to Beyond Graduation, brought to you by Ignite DDS and Future Dentists. This episode was sponsored by Ignite DDS Coaching. We build self-determined futures. For more information, please reach out to the Ignite DDS team.